Good morning. I'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. All three commissioners are present. And this morning we'll have the flag salute led by Captain Steve Walton, U.S. Navy retired.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move that we approve the minutes of June 20th, 2016.
I second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further additions, deletions, corrections?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Public comment. We have no public comment.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items, 11 resolutions, starting with numbers 16-167 through 16-177.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Amanda.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Amanda Migliaccio, Financial Analyst Senior in the Auditor's
You're the only
Office.
person I know who says your last name right.
Well, I hope so. It would be bad if I messed it up. I'm speaking on items number 1 and 2, Resolution 16-167 and 16-168. 16-167 is the weekly approval of warrants. For the week of June 20th through 24th, there were 77 regular warrants, which were numbered 750047 through 750123, in the amount of $362,122.39. Resolution 16-168 is to cancel warrant number 692370. This warrant was reported as a duplicate payment and now needs to be voided. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Good morning, Danette York, Director of Public Health and Social Services, and I'm speaking to item number 3, resolution number 16-169. This is approving a contract with the Housing Resource Center to extend the McKinney Program. The McKinney Program is a grant-funded program from HUD, at the federal level, and they've continued to have the McKinney Program for years. The funding comes through our department, and then we subcontract with the Housing Resource Center. This is extending the contract through April 30th of 2017 and adding the amount of $151,574.
And it's more than we received in 2015.
It is.
$17,455.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks.
Morning, Commissioner. Steve Walton, Central Services Director. Speaking to items number 4 and 5 on the consent agenda. First is item number 4, resolution number 16-170, additional funds to the Southwest Washington Fair revolving working account. This resolution involves depositing $1,000 into the working account for use in the change drawers in the fair office to support ticket sales and other events at the fair. Deposit date of these funds is requested to be July 1st, 2016. A second transfer into the same fund in the amount of $25,000 is requested for August 12th, 2016 to support gate sales, parking, and other transactions to meet change needs. This account is monitored by the Treasurer's Office during the fair, and money will be returned to the Treasurer's Office no later than September 30th of this year. Item number 5 is resolution number 16-171, funds for ATM machines in the Southwest Washington Fair. It's similar and involves depositing $100,000 in the fair's revenue account at Security State Bank for the purpose of restocking the ATM machines on the fairgrounds during the fair. This deposit is conducted annually, and as in the previous resolution, the fund is monitored by the Treasurer's Office during the fair, and funds will be returned to the Treasurer's Office no later than September 30th. Any questions?
Mr. Walton, this is a normal procedure that we do every year.
Yes, it is. Normal procedures, and the funds are replenished back to the Treasurer's office by September.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Elsey, Public Works Director, speaking to items 6 through 11 on your consent agenda. Item number 6 is ratify and approve consultant contract over $40,000 for active public works projects. This resolution will ratify the execution of the consultant contract and supplement number 1 for Northwest Hydraulic Consultants. And this is a contract for on-call hydrology, hydraulic, and geomorphology services. Pursuant to the on-call roster, Resolution 1125 requirements, 14 firms on the consultant roster listed for the hydrology, hydraulic, and geomorphic analysis category were contacted on June 19, 2014. Additionally, Northwest Hydraulics Consultants and Henderson LLC were contacted. Of the 16 firms contacted, 2 submitted proposals, and that would be Northwest Hydraulic Consultants and Henderson Environmental. Scoring was completed by a Public Works team, and it was determined that Northwest Hydraulics was the most qualified, so a contract was negotiated and executed. During the term of the contract, a flood event occurred, so the need for on-call services of Northwest Hydraulics went above the contract amount, and supplement number 1 was executed in order to meet these needs. The need for hydrology, hydraulic, and geomorphology services will exceed the contract amount and supplement number 1, so Public Works needs an additional supplement in order to meet those needs. Public Works recommends approval of this resolution to ratify the contract and supplement number 1 and approve supplement number 2 for hydrology, hydraulic, and geomorphology services for Northwest Hydraulic Consultants. So supplement number 1 was an additional $100,000 for the flood event that happened this past year. And then this will supplement that again in the amount of $140,000. And this will include these services for Coal Creek Road, Skate Creek Road, and other flood-damaged areas in the county.
Any questions?
No.
Item number 7 is approving an interlocal agreement with Thurston Regional Planning Council. This resolution will authorize the Board of County Commissioners to sign and ratify an interlocal agreement between TRPC and Lewis County, pursuant to the authority of RCW 3934080 and in conformance with RCW 4309210, this resolution will allow the Board of County Commissioners to sign and ratify an interlocal agreement that allows TRPC personnel to perform travel demand modeling work for Lewis County. Lewis County has requested that TRPC personnel complete travel demand modeling work to modify TRPC's updated travel demand model to include greater detail in Lewis County and the short-term purpose of using the model for the North Lewis County Industrial Access Study area, and the long-term purpose of generating an updated travel demand model for Lewis County at a total cost of $73,473. Lewis County lacks the workforce and expertise necessary to complete this travel demand modeling work and is requesting that TRPC complete the work outlined in Exhibit A. So basically, the last traffic demand modeling that we did comprehensive was in 2006. We need to have our traffic demand model updated. This will not only allow us to have that model updated, it will perform that work in time for and in accordance with the needs of the North Lewis County Industrial Access, but also allow for the long-term maintenance of that traffic demand model. What this will also do is coordinate our demand model with Thurston County's demand model and Pierce County's demand model so that we have a regional planning effort, which goes a long way anytime that you're asking for funding along that corridor.
Any questions?
Item number 8 is resolution number 16-174, and this is a contract with the Council of Governments for the cost of transportation planning. So this will authorize the Chair of the Board of County Commissioners to sign and execute a contract between the Council of Governments and Lewis County for cost of transportation planning work performed. The contract between the Calais-Waukiakum Council of Governments and Lewis County is provided to support a transportation planner for the 2016-2017 year. The planner will support Lewis County and Lewis County Transportation Coalition in developing comprehensive transportation solutions and to assist in prioritizing and programming transportation infrastructure within the county and developing regional infrastructure improvements. This work will support the delivery of the products and outcomes as defined in the Lewis County Transportation Strategy Council Charter. The purpose of this work is to maintain a regional forum for discussion of transportation issues of regional significance and to develop long-range regional transportation improvements to meet future land use and growth to an acceptable level of service within Lewis County. Basically, what we're doing here is the Council of Governments has agreed to pay $25,000 towards Mike Kroll, who is our transportation planner, to supplement our efforts as we work in conjunction with the Kalispell-Calicum Council of Governments. This is a yearly contract that has been going on for several years. Mike does a tremendous job for us in transportation planning. Part of what he does is make sure that we stay on track with the Transportation Strategy Council, the TSC, and that is a council where many other entities come together, including the cities, the state, the county, to make sure that we have a coordinated transportation strategy in the county.
So this has been going on for how many years now?
Oh gosh, for many, many years, since before I got here.
And Tim, we noticed that the fiscal year is July 1, so they're on a different fiscal year than we are on. Yes. Okay.
That's correct. Thank you. The final three, and so that's 9, 10, and 11. It's resolution number 16-175, 16-176, and 16-177 are a proposed acquisition of additional right-of-way, and the first one is for Lincoln Creek Road Slide. And this is a slide that's west of Centralia, and it requires slide repair due to subsurface ground movement. The project will require additional right-of-way from two property owners. RCW 8.08.010 authorizes counties to acquire property under the threat of eminent domain when deemed necessary by the Board of County Commissioners. Pursuant to the requirements of RCW 808, this resolution instructs the county engineer to acquire right-of-way from two property owners along Lincoln Creek Road for the project. All such acquisition shall be in accordance with adopted procedures per Resolution 14-160 and under its eminent domain authority per RCW 825 and WAC 458-61A 206, and pursuant to authority and obligations of RCW Title 8, notably 8.08, 8.25, and 8.26. So what this does, more than anything else, is it preserves the landowner's rights in any negotiations and ensures that we follow the federally mandated guidelines for right-of-way acquisition. We don't see where there's going to be any issues with the right-of-way acquisition, but we do this to ensure that the homeowner's rights are protected. Similarly, item number 10, resolution number 16-176, is for the proposed acquisition of additional right-of-way off of Rock Creek Road. And this is for 3 property owners along Rock Creek Road for the project. And all of the other verbiage that I used before is appropriate with this particular one as well. Rock Creek Road Bridge west of PL requires scour repair due to erosion. The project will require additional right-of-way from 3 property owners. These property owners have one way in and one way out, and so they're eager for us to get in and do this project. And then the last one is for proposed acquisition of additional right-of-way on Sin Road. And again, this is a scour project due to the latest flood event. And this requires right-of-way from 1 property owner. Thank you.
And this Sen Road is Cowlitz River,
It is
or it's in the Cowlitz River Basin.
Well, it's in the Cowlitz River Basin, but it is Lucas Creek.
And let's point out the other 2 are in the Chehalis Basin. This one is actually one in the Cowlitz.
I think this actually empties into the Chehalis Basin as well.
You think this is Chehalis too?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty far out there to be Chehalis.
The procedures are the same either way we go.
So it's somewhat close to North Fork Road, Lucas Creek Road, all that area.
Correct.
There
Yeah,
it is.
it's in between Centralia Alpha and North Fork Road.
So that does go into the Newaukum.
Yes.
Yeah, into the Chehalis, yeah. Any other questions?
Does the board have any other questions?
No.
Then I'll call for the vote for the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Next, we will do a hearing on the second 2016 budget amendment. The hearing will be set up with staff report, followed by a question and answer period. We will then close the question and answer period and have additional information from staff, followed by an opportunity for public comment. At that, we will close the hearing for public comment and then consider the resolution number 16178. Mr. Steve Walton.
Good morning again, Commissioner. Steve Walton, Central Services Director. Copies of the detailed budget amendment are available at the front of the room, and there's also a sign-up sheet for public comment. This hearing pertains to the recommendation to amend the 2016 budget as indicated in Resolution Number 16-178. Notice of this public hearing was published in the East County Journal on June the 15th and on June the 22nd. The notice that was published in the East County Journal on those dates reflected an increase in expenditures of $490,032 and offsetting revenue in the amount of $147,235, resulting in $342,797 use of fund balance. And as usual is the case, subsequent to the notice being published in the paper, the need to amend other areas became necessary, resulting in changes in expenditures in the amount of $134,184 and an increase in revenue in the amount of $178,415. With these changes incorporated, this total budget amendment reflects an increase in expenditures of $624,216, an increase in revenue in the amount of $325,650, and a combined use of fund balance in the amount of $298,566. The general fund portion of this amendment is an expenditure increase of $207,343 and an increase in revenue in the amount of $45,579, resulting in a use of fund balance in the amount of $161,764. The more significant changes in this amendment are as follows, and I'll talk about the general fund first. In the auditor's elections area, $44,400 increase for the installation of 3 new ballot boxes and an increase for supplies associated with the presidential election. In the assessor's arena, an increase of $25,000 for the purchase of a replacement vehicle used in the field. For the sheriff and the jail, an increase of $16,201 for annual leave payouts and training costs. For juvenile, $47,818 increase for payout costs associated with a PERS 1 retiree. In the noxious weed area, $39,629 increase for costs associated with the Forest Service grant. And lastly, a $36,000 increase transferred to Facilities Fund 507 to cover additional project costs. In the other funds area, I'll cover the biggest items that were reflected in this amendment. Capital maintenance and repair, $125,935 increase for capital maintenance projects, including an ADA ramp, emergency management lighting, evidence building awning, Toledo Senior Center painting and fascia repair, and an increased transfer to Facilities Parks Department in the amount of $50,000 for parks maintenance and operations. In the capital facilities plan area, $73,600 increased cost for elevator repair in the historic courthouse. Repairs are scheduled to begin in the middle of this month. The tentative date is the 11th as of today. And then lastly, in the health, social services, and radio services area, $80,184 for changes in grant-related expenditures. Are there any questions?
Does the board have any questions?
Just wanted to ask you about, we always get inquiries about buying new cars, and we talked about this in another meeting, but just wanted to restate that the assessor's cars, some of those are just very old and needing repair and breaking down, and that's why.
That's correct. They're out in the field frequently, and sometimes they get stranded out there of late. So they're in dire need of some vehicles to replace their fleet to do their work.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Any questions at all from the audience? Then I will close the question and answer period. And I will ask if you want your original statement added into the testimony.
Yes, sir. I would like that.
Any statements from the board?
No?
No one has signed up to make a statement. Is anybody interested in speaking? Anybody interested in speaking? With that, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution number 16-178, 2016 second budget amendment.
Second?
The motion has been made and seconded. Any last discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Budget amendment is approved. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
With no further business, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
You are invited to immerse yourself in the beauty of nature in all four corners of Lewis County, Washington. From our fields to your table, farms in the west share their bounty. Limitless landscapes, forests and mountains beg to be explored in the east. Fish our many rivers and lakes in the south, and discover where history and culture intersect in our twin cities. Explore it all by visiting our Facebook page and plan your next getaway at discoverlewiscounty.com. Culture, history, and adventure all come alive when you discover Lewis County.